I'm searching emails that I sent to lawyer Dusanka Lukic. So I have three emails, three email threads, sorry. So in this thread I just forwarded emails to her. So these emails are described on my YouTube channel, and that would be all. So emails sent on 13th and 17th of May 2023. That's the email, and the one that was sent on 13th of January. Actually, this is the one for Italian ambassador. So YouTube is blocking me here. I cannot search Italian ambassador. I cannot search Russian. There is a video on that blocking, so they're blocking me in while I'm logged in. This is video on that blocking, specifically on that blocking. So when I search these certain terms, certain keywords, I need to search here. For instance, I searched Italian here, so it's there. This is my YouTube channel. So I just want to show that it's email from 13th of January this year. What's this? Okay. So as I said, I haven't directly addressed her, which can be seen in these videos that I just showed. I just forwarded that to her, and this is email that I started to write. I addressed her, but this of course doesn't count yet. So the only email I sent her, which is relevant, what the hell was this, is that first email thread. So in this email I sent her warning before I file an international crime report against her, and I'm now going to and I forwarded this to my brother, and I'm going to translate this, and afterwards I will play phone recordings day after I sent this. I sent this on 24th of March 2022 last year, so today is this day and time, and and I'm now going to start with translation. So of course Serbian to English. Okay, my network is slow today, I don't know for what reason. So first I sent her this video, which describes in details frauds committed regarding my father's inheritance proceedings, and also the frauds committed by Cadastre, which is state institution dealing with the ownership, properties, and so on and so on. And I will show in that phone recording which I'm about to play right after I translate this email what she said. So I wanted to combine this email and that phone recording. So phone recording, as I said, day after maybe I haven't said, but anyway, so day after I sent this, she didn't respond, and I called her using my mobile phone. I recorded that phone call. So let's see this video. This was in Serbian and this was in Serbian. So title and description was in Serbian. I changed it like an hour ago because I'm about to send this to the International Bar Association. So I explained here all the details, everything that happened. I mean, this is 2 hours long video, so everything is explained in detail, and what she needed to do according to the law. She needed to forward this to prosecution in charge according to law on criminal proceedings, and you will hear what she did instead in that phone recording I'm about to play. So I also explained here that it's an international case. Monstrous murders of 3 members of my family is an international case. Of course, I gave her all the links, everything. So this is the monster who murdered 3 members of my family and also poisoned three kids. That generally this is her sister, who gave guarantees for her. Both of these 2 monsters had major psych issues. So she represented my brothers. She tricked my brother to illegally sell that property. Fortunately, my brother gave her power of attorney, so he's not directly involved with this. He will file a request to annul that agreement. So all the details are in that video that I just closed. This is the address. So, and I will take that debt that she has. I mean, if you file if you want to annul agreement or contract. So my brother and that monster who murdered 3 members of my family sold 1 acre each to who are profiteer, Zvonimir Stevanovic, actually to his wife, but actually he's the owner. So he's local criminal, and when you annul contract, you get your property back, but you need to return the money. But I will take this debt. This is 6,000 euros, and that guy cannot basically sue me, that war profiteer, local criminal, because he brutally broke the law. I will create videos on him later. So I'm now focused on lawyers, other lawyers who covered everything up for more than 6 years. So I explained everything in the in recent videos I posted, and also in videos related to lawyer Marko Petrovic, who refused to defend that monster. Here's the video. That monster who murdered my family but was hiding that she is guilty. All prominent lawyers knew that from Bar Association of Serbia, and now I'm about to report them to International Bar Association. So let's continue with this email again. This is the warning before filing international crime report against this lawyer. So I asked her here to withdraw the offer she sent me. According to the law, she needed to, because I'm one of the owners of that property, third of it. Actually, there are 4 parts of that property. She sent me, I don't know, like 2 weeks before I sent this email, she sent me offer. This is according to the law, to buy this. So I asked her to withdraw that offer within 24 hours. after she confirmed sending this, receiving this email. Details are in this video that I included in above. So all the details are there to confirm that she received my email and to send me the confirmation on withdrawing that offer by email, scanned with the signature and the seal. These are the videos which I forgot to mention in this video, so I'm going to open them now to show that they are live and they are my videos on my channel. I think that all of them are on my channel. So this is on FBI. That FBI was ignoring me, and of course this automatically means that she could not act like this. She was very well aware that this is I'm sure she watched that video, that this is an international case, and she could not act like this if both lawyers, I mean Bar Association of Serbia and the pieces of shit from foreign embassy, United States embassy in the first place, promised her protection, to break the law, and that they won't touch her. So this is also something related to international organized crime on so-called Serbian president. This was the list on 37 cases of international organized crime related to Serbia. This has now 45 cases. So first case is illegal arms trade. I proved that United States, who is really behind this, that United States federal government is behind this. And what I wanted to mention is that here is the video where I explained that new version of list of international organized crime cases related to Serbia. So international organized crime cases. So that was it regarding the list. Okay, so this is directory on G Drive. So I mentioned something about police, that they still haven't sent me cases related to that monstrous murder of my family. This is about something that monster stole from me. And also commander of that police department, Smederevo Police Department. Smederevo is sort of the center of the area, sort of the capital of the area where I live. Now I live in country. I again mentioned the involvement of United States Embassy, so more on that is in this video. In this video I'm not going into details. This is about the so this is about the then deputy prosecutor, but no prosecutor, because there are no more deputy prosecutors, only chief prosecutor and prosecutors. So this is about the guy who was in charge of investigating my grandfather's monstrous murder. And as you can see here, Alexander Kuzmanic, he was convicted for pickpocketing in trains, which means that he could not be a prosecutor in the first place. This is about him the cases which crime cases that are actually crime reports that he still keeps in his drawer. This is about my grandfather's autopsy. So I think this is autopsy. Yeah, this contains autopsy. Okay, I need this. Autopsy report and pictures. So these are pictures, this is report, and so on and so on. So I said here, this is just actually I didn't need the translator. So this is just small part of controversies related to that case of monstrous murders of my family, including, yeah, this thumbnail is updated, including the poisoning of 3 children. One more time, so children. Here it is. So these are all strong pieces of evidence that nobody can deny. So right after I sent this, I added the last. This was about the last address, but I don't know why it's wrong. Yeah, this is just, I needed just to send her the first part, first page of that autopsy report to prove that that investigation started, that other prosecutors started investigation. Then he was moved to prosecution of appeals in Belgrade for some reason. Again, one of the controversies, and that was email. Now I'm going to play the video. Actually, this is the 3 GPP file, which is at least in Android, which is the format that is used when you record. So this is actually audio recording, and I mean, I can check out something now which I'm really interested in, because before I could not upload this. This is another reason why I'm creating this video. I could not upload that file format to the to YouTube. What the hell? I can't do it now. Wow. Okay, but I don't want. Cancel upload. So it didn't work before. I wasn't able to upload this this format. Okay, that's cool, but since I started video, I will continue with this, and I also need to explain certain parts of this recording. So this is recording again on 25th of March 2022, 10:39. This is the idea, I think, of the video. So at 10:39 a.m. of course. So I'm now going to play this. I didn't start recording from the beginning. I don't know. I cannot remember why. So the subject of this of that phone call is why she didn't confirm that she received my email. So I waited. I also sent her the SMS right after I sent her that email, and since she didn't answer, I called her next morning. So I will now play it and explain and stop when explanation is needed.
Čisto list nepokretnosti je čist bez ikakvih tereta, zabeležbi, bez bilo kakvih znači zabrana, otuđenja i opterećenja, tako da kažem što se toga tiče, vi ako smatrate da treba podnosite bilo kakvu prijavu, naravno budite slobodni i podnesite šta god.
So she said here that everything is clean in the decision of the, she meant by this in the decision of the judge, which committed the frauds. I think that I mentioned that, but I will mention it again. So Dejan Adamović is judge who committed major frauds, and the main part where she committed those frauds is actually our minutes of the inheritance proceedings of my father. And when he figured out what he did, he completely removed, so that those minutes don't exist anymore in the case of inheritance proceedings of my father without written decision to remove them. So he removed that, and when I tried to explain to her what really happened, you will hear that she simply wouldn't listen. So she strictly was referring to those frauds committed by judge and cadaster, so state institution which deals with the ownership, properties, and so on and so on. This is director of Geodetic Institute, which is in charge of cadasters in every city. Almost every city has a cadaster. Actually, every district, so I think that's the right name, district. So this is the guy. He's the Templar Knight. Yeah. So he's a Templar Knight. He's the one who ordered his colleagues to commit this fraud. So by claiming that everything is clean, that lawyer, that piece of shit, assumed that there is no way. It is impossible for judge to break the law. It is possible, and there is in crime law, there is Article 360, which deals explicitly with judges and prosecutors breaking the law, and also there is law on judges and prosecutors, which says in one. I think there is only one article in both of these two laws, so on judges and prosecutors. I explained that in other videos, so I'm not going into details. So it says that if judge or prosecutor makes mistake intentionally, then he might pay the damages. He caused for the damages he caused, but what it should state there, it should be must pay. So three laws leave the room for both judges and prosecutors breaking the law, and she assumes here that it is impossible, and of course that it is impossible that cadastre didn't break the law. So cadastre broke the law. Everything was fine because according to new law, the court where inheritance proceedings took place, they are sending documentation on that to cadastre, and of course judge sent only that decision, nothing about that whole case. This is huge case, so of course other instances, higher instances of court committed major frauds and breaking and brutally violated the law. For instance, against so this is judge and president of higher instance court who decided which decided on my complaints on inheritance proceedings, and that judge and president of the court, when she didn't have any other options, she filed crime report against herself. So this is more than enough to tell you what the whole thing is about. So let's continue with the recording.
Mislite da treba. Sa druge strane, kažem, neću ni ja dozvoliti da neko bilo šta vezano za mene kači na YouTube i taj deo morate da razumete, jer ja postupam u skladu sa zakonom.
Yeah, so she said that I'm free to file crime report against her, and she will not allow that, or better, maybe better term is, she will prevent me in every possible way to upload anything about her on YouTube. She specifically said YouTube, and that she's doing everything according to the law. I mean, you can imagine.
Dobro, znači nećete da mi potvrdite da ste dobili ovaj mail?
Ne, zaista neću odgovarati na takve stvari, jer zaista smatram da ste vi ovde izašli, vi meni nalažete da povučem ponudu, vi niste moj vlastodavac, vi sa druge strane, kažem, njih bukvalno onemogućavate ovim jer su oni knjižni vlasnici. U stvari...
So she stated here that this is maybe one of the most important parts of this recording. So she said that she's a second, I need to check out this one more time.
Ne, zaista neću odgovarati na takve stvari.
So she said here, without invoking the law, that she doesn't want to confirm she received that email I sent. So without any sort of invoking of any law, nothing. So she just said that I cannot order her anything because I didn't order. I just said I will file crime report if she doesn't do that, if she doesn't withdraw that illegal offer. So let's see what she said afterwards.
Jer zaista smatram da ste vi ovde izašli, vi meni nalažete da povučem ponudu, vi niste moj vlastodavac, vi sa druge strane, kažem, njih bukvalno onemogućavate ovim jer su oni knjižni vlasnici. U stvari ne znam, jel vi osporavate to što je brat nasledio ili samo što je maćeha nasledila?
Ja osporavam oba, znači brata sam prijavio.
So she said that by doing this, by requesting, sorry, not requesting, by asking her to withdraw that is proposal, sort of, so proposal to buy the property. So I am actually breaking the law. So she said that I am breaking the law, and then asked me if I'm against selling the property regarding both my brother and that monster who murdered my family. So nobody can sell something that is inherited by committed a fraud, because by doing that, that fraud is, you become a part of that fraud. I mean, common sense logic. So let's continue.
Za saučesništvo, to su materijalni dokazi na Viberu, on traži da ja priznam te sve prevare, ja sam vama poslao, znači u tom videu, što to je javna opomena, znači ja vama ništa ne nalažem, ja ne mogu da vam nalažem, to je javna opomena, znači nećete na mail da mi odgovorite.
Naložili ste mi da povučem ponudu, naložili ste mi da povučem ponudu.
Ne, to je opomena, znači to je opomena, ja ne mogu, kako mogu da vam naložim? Ja ne...
So she's constantly forcing that story that I ordered her to withdraw that proposal, and I was trying to convince her I was trying to explain that I just sent her the warning. I cannot order anything.
Mogu da vam naložim. Znači ja sam rekao, ako ne povučete, slobodno prijavite mi visokotehnološkom kriminalu za ovo. Ja sam već njih prijavio za saučesništvo u međunarodnom organizovanom kriminalu. Oni su već duboko u tome. Vi me slobodno prijavite, znači nećete da mi odgovorite na mail. Ja sam vama dao sve dokaze u onom videu da je na prevaru to urađeno.
So I told her that she is free to report me to high-tech crime department of higher instance prosecution in Belgrade. By the way, that high-tech crime prosecution department is the one who was ignoring my crime reports on death threats that I received, and as can be seen here, I am a witness of international organized crime on 2 counts, and I'm also acting as prosecutor. So not any prosecutor, but supreme prosecutor. So this is there are so many evidence that it's really unbelievable for anyone who is in legal stuff. So let's continue.
Znači vi imate dokaze i na osnovu zakonitosti u radu, vi ne možete, znači zakonitost u radu vas sprečava da mi pošaljete ponudu, razumete? Moj brat...
So I try to explain that legality in work, this is so-called legality in work, prevents her to send me that offer or proposal. So legality in your work, there is a video, and this guy who is in the thumbnail, he is a former operative of state intelligence. He confirmed that when somebody asks you to do something, and if that's illegal, you cannot do that. That's called legality in your work. So I mentioned that here, and she of course denied it. So I'm teaching the lawyer what she need to do. I'm an engineer, software and hardware engineer, or computer scientist. But this is really something that is that won't be good in her resume and resumes. What's, I don't know what's the plural of all those lawyers who are involved.
Dužan bio sve ovo što sam ja stavio u vidu da on kaže. On to nije. Ili jeste, ja ne.
Se vodi neki krivični postupak, jel vi imate neki KT broj kod tužilaštva?
Ja sam to vama sve stavio u vidu, znači.
So she's now playing the other card. If there is a DA ongoing investigation, there was no ongoing investigation because all prosecution offices, there are a lot of prosecution offices which are involved, so not just higher instance prosecution. You just type prosecution and you will see prosecution for organized crime, prosecution of appeals, DA, supreme prosecution, even prosecution for war crimes, because I reported Serbian quoted army for illegal arms trade and so on and so on. Of course I did that to make sure that somebody doesn't cancel me. So let's continue.
Prvo, Republičko javno tužilaštvo ima otvoren predmet.
Slušajte sad ovako, šta ja vidim kao advokat? Kao neko ko je zaista završio i pravni fakultet, istažirao i položio.
So I said that there is an open case in Supreme Prosecution, at that time Republic Prosecution Office, and she's playing now another card, that she's a lawyer and I'm not a lawyer and I cannot teach her about the law.
Sve tako da, samo vam kažem iz moje perspektive. Ja ovdje vidim čista tri suvlasnika, bez ja vidim ovdje čist list nepokretnosti.
Dobro, vi to vidite, a dozvolite samo ovo da vam kažem. A zašto, kažete mi ovako, a zašto ne odete ili ne tražite, imate pravo kao advokat da radite na predmetu, moj brat vam je dao punomoćje, zašto ne tražite od katastra, ja sam mogao, neću namerno, od katastra da vidite šta im je poslao sud. Znači tamo ćete vidjeti da je sud poslao čist predmet, da se uopšte ne vidi da je sudija falsifikovao zapisnik. On je poslao ono što njemu odgovara. I drugo, lepo sam vam ovde stavio u videu da ni jedan ni drugi nasljednik još uvijek nisu dobili celu žalbu na rešenje. Znači, deo te žalbe na rešenje, koja je istovremeno i prijava, pošto sudu može da se podnese prijava po ZKP-u. Znači, sudu može da se podnese prijava i isto je kao da sam podneo tužilaštvu ili policiji. Znači, dok ne oslobodi tužilaštvo, oni ne mogu da reaguju, razumete?
So I give her more details. I gave her more details on because she was constantly giving that as excuse that everything is clean. Then I ask her if everything is clean, go to the cadastre to see what is in the case. So there was a case open when you file something to cadastre to change ownership. There is a case open, and I asked her to go there and then to go to the court to see that the court sent only one or actually 2 pages on this decision and nothing else. And of course cadastre ignored me, which can be seen in those videos on cadastre. I don't know if I can search cadastre. But that video on that Templar contains this is another video about, actually this is when I called, this is not Geodata but Geodetic Institute, this is wrong. So here are the details that cadastre and Geodetic Institute ignored me. So I of course I filed the complaint and I warned them not to change anything, but they simply ignore me. And another even better example that everything was illegal is that monster who murdered my family refused to give me that contract that she signed with the local criminal. There's a video on that. Wow, I cannot now remember what's the maybe explain. Yeah, won't give me the contract that she signed. My brother said that he lost it when he sold the car. Cadastre refused to give me that contract. A notary who not verifies but certified that contract, Bojana Babic, real piece of shit. There are a lot of videos about her, so Bojana Babic. And now I'm going to ask that piece of shit, that lawyer, Dusanka Lukic, to send me that contract. She won't send me because it is clear from that contract that nobody informed me when this contract was signed. According to the law, I need to be informed on that because you need to divide the property. You can divide it afterwards, after signing the contract. The court is in charge of that, but this is not a common practice. Almost nobody is doing that. So they don't want to give me contract because it will be seen they haven't informed me, and that there is that the property is not divided. So I need, as someone who also owned that property, I needed to agree on the way that property will be divided. And to make things worse, those in those emails in May last year, I filed crime report against that monster, Zvonimir Stevanovic, dividing the property on his own. He said he cannot wait for the court, which is a brutal breaking of the law. So I sent that to filed crime report on that to chief prosecutor of higher instance prosecution of Smeru, and he did nothing still. So I showed what day is today. Okay, so let's continue to hear what she said on that. So I gave her proofs. I explained what she need to do to see what the whole thing is about, that there were actually frauds, and that everything is covered up. And let's see what she said.
Znači, tužilaštvo je podnelo te prijave i na prevaru su zatvorili, jer vi razumete. Znači, ali sa druge strane, apelaciono je objedinilo predmete. To imate tamo u onim razgovorima, ja sam rekao ako nešto nije jasno, ću vam pošaljem. Znači, imate razgovore sa tužilaštvima gde oni kažu apelaciono objedinilo 3 predmeta. Iz apelacionog, kojim je naložilo republičko da otvore, i to su poslali višem tužilaštvu. Znači, ti predmeti su otvoreni. To je, ja mislim, ili 120/21 KTR ili 210, ja ne znam, mogu da vam pošaljem mail. Znači, ti predmeti su otvoreni. Drugo,
je li podneta optužnica, ili su tu saslušani oni, je li podneta optužnica?
Pa to hoću da vam kažem, znači to se tamo vidi sve u onim beleške, ja sam te beleške radio, zato nisam mogu pre da govorim. Znači, do dan danas odbija tužilaštvo, i to sam vam poslao na kraju i u mailu, znači tužilaštvo odbija da pošalje, da pozove bilo koga ko je umešan u.
So she asked here, I of course gave more details on higher instance prosecution, brutal violating multiple laws, and she asked if any of the witnesses is asked to give statement, asked by the prosecution officers, and then I explained that this is the problem, because they simply ignored me. They don't want to take the statement from anyone than my father. The only statement, the only one who gave statement was my father in 2016. So, and after that, when I asked prosecutor that Kuzmanovic, monster and piece of shit, why that moron and monster who murdered 3 members of my family didn't give a statement, I stated at that time that she has psych issues. They ignore everything, and it turned out that that it's true. She ended up in hospital. I just uploaded the video. So she ended up in hospital for second time. She was 2 months ago. This is the phone call where she confirmed that. She was in 2019 in psych hospital, but I didn't have any proofs. Actually, I have sort of proofs, but not really not really any strong proof. So let's see what she said afterwards.
Mog oca koji je umro, a ona je priznala. Znači, sudija, zamenik, izvinjam se, Aleksandar Kuzmanović, je zvao mog oca koji nije mogao, pošto je bio bolestan uopšte, da svedoči bez psihijatra. I glavna njegova ideja je bila, glavni razlog za zatvaranje slučaja KTR 628/15, to što je moj otac našao mog dedu. Međutim, u razgovorima posle, koje tužilaštvo ignoriše, psihijatrijski bolesnik Jelica prizna da ga ona našla. Kad je završeno ostavinski, mislila da je to završeno, razumete? Znači, bilo je 4 svedoka.
Do 2022. ništa nije desilo.
Kako mislite ništa se... Gledajte ovako, ja sam poslao u tužilaštvu i oni uopšte ne reaguju. Znate kad sam ja njima slao? Počeo sam od 2006.
So I again explained that prosecution offices are ignoring me, and let's see what's her response.
16. Oni neće da reaguju. Znači, drugo, zvao sam DVT pre neki dan, sad ću staviti snimak, meni treba kako je uopšte Aleksandar Kuzmanović osuđen za džeparanje po vozovima, došao na tu zameničku funkciju. Znači, on, na funkciju zamenika, znači, on uopšte neće da reaguje ni tužilaštvo, razumete? I ti predmeti su otvoreni u apelacionom, to je otvoren predmet, nisu...
So I mentioned here, although I mentioned that in email, that Kuzmanović, Aleksandar Kuzmanović, who was investigating my grandfather's monstrous murder, he was convicted for pickpocketing in trains. So I stated that here in that phone call, and that he could not be the prosecutor in the first place. Of course, she didn't react to that.
Uopšte me ni o čemu ne obaveštavaju, što možete da vidite. Tu imate gomilu desetine poziva tužilaštva ima, znači ja sam snimao kad sam zvao, oni neće da reaguju, razumete? Znači, glavno je da prijava policije stoji još uvek tamo, razumete? Ne može dok ta prijava stoji, znači sudija je ignorisao, razumete? Sudija Dejan Adamović je rekao da nema vremena da pročita to. Na osnovu zakona o nasleđivanju, to je drugo osim zakonitost u radu, nedostojnost nasleđivanja član 4, ne može dok stoji ta prijava. Znači ta prijava policije za monstruozno ubistvo, oni su prosledili moju prijavu, ona stoji u višem tužilaštvu u Smederevu. Znači, vi to sve možete, pošto ste moj vam brat to punomoći, vi to sve možete da uzmete. Postoji dovoljno da poslušate razgovore sa tužilaštvima. Jel me razumete?
So I explained here something that's explained in this video. So what happened when I reported top of Ministry of Interior to Interpol? So after I did this, reported top of Ministry of Interior. This is Ministry for which is in charge of police. So after I did that, 24 hours after I did that, because Interpol was ignoring my phone calls and my emails, I received confirmation from head of Smederevo Police Department that he forwarded my crime report to to that Kuzmanović guy, Aleksandar Kuzmanović, and there is a video from 23rd of July 2021 where Yeah, so in this video, document office of prosecution, where this Alexander Kuzmanovic works, higher instance prosecution of Smederevo, confirmed that still at that time, so this was 23rd of July 2021, and police, so head of police department confirmed, they forwarded my crime report to Alexander Kuzmanovic, and at that time and still to this day that crime report is in Alexander Kuzmanovic's drawer, who illegally became the prosecutor, at that time deputy prosecutor. And I said all of this to this moron, and she's totally ignoring. She didn't say for at least once that this is a problem and that she needs to report this, which is what she should have done, but she's just totally moving the story to some other subjects.
Ovako, vi znate da je po našem krivičnom pravu svako nevin dok se ne dokaže da je kriv. Ja ne vidim ovdje da ste vi dokazali da su oni krivi zato što...
So she was invoking or referring to infamous rule that everyone is innocent until proven guilty. So the major deal with that is it doesn't apply when state institutions don't want to react. So when state institution, and I will create institutions, I will create separate video on this, and I will refer to Alan Dershowitz and one of his interview, and he pretends that he doesn't know that. So this is something that doesn't need to be in the law, and I think it is not in the law. So if state institutions, in the first place, prosecutors, then prosecutors, courts and police don't want to react, they need to react within 30 days, or they are ignoring you, like it was the case. It was what happened to me. So in that case, the one who is accused of some crime, then that person is guilty. You need to lawyer or lawyers of that person need to prove that he is not guilty. So it's the opposite. When state institutions, prosecutors, police, courts, and so on don't react, that means the person is guilty. So it's not presumption of innocence, but in this case it's presumption of guilt. And she said, this is what she just said. She said she doesn't see that I prove they are guilty. She is guilty, that monster who murdered my family, and of course others for frauds. So she doesn't see, and she didn't look. At least she said she didn't look, didn't read my email, didn't watch video, but she doesn't see that I prove they are guilty.
Gledajte ovako, znači po vama, to što je policija podnela moju prijavu i niko nije reagovao po njoj na osnovu te prijave, to nije nešto sitno nego prijava za monstruozno ubistvo. Zamislite vi sad da je neko osuđen za monstruozno ubistvo i da dalje može da se šeta ulicom.
So I asked her how it is possible that everything is okay when prosecutor doesn't want to react. So when police, so this was the key point. This is this was what I actually wanted to do. I first, of course, filed crime reports to prosecution office. They did nothing. I mean, more precisely to that guy, Alexander Kuzmanic, and to other prosecution offices, higher instances. Now and then did nothing. They were just ignoring me, sending me some notifications, some rubbish. So what I did when I reported top of the police to Interpol, I wanted police to forward my report. When they forwarded my crime report, that means police is behind my claims. This is a major deal. And she pretends here that she doesn't know, that she knows nothing about that. And of course I asked her, is it normal that somebody who is accused of this is a major deal? So at that time, I mean, this was last year, my father was also murdered. Actually, that monster was poisoned my, I mean, these are really strong pieces of evidence. So she poisoned 3 members of my family one by one. So not all of them at once, but one by one. And what is also important, doctors finished them off. Doctors. So I have a lot of videos on doctors and their crimes. So these are doctors from Belgrade. But some other are not shown here. These are doctors from emergency service and so on and so on. So they finished off my 3 members of my family. Okay, so let's continue.
Ja sam sve dokazao, znači ona se leči na psihijatriji. Kako je moguće da neće ženu koja se leči na psihijatriji, koja je u telefonskom razgovoru priznala da je našla mog dedu? Znači to što je moj otac ucenjen bio da kaže da je on našao mog dedu, to je bio razlog da Aleksandar Kuzmanović 2016. zatvori predmet. Ponovo je otvorio kad sam RJTU poslao, to je predmet 884 RJTU, on je još uvek otvoren, prvo su mi rekli da nije, da jeste, sad kažu da nije i tako dalje, ali znači to je ogroman predmet. Iako je trebalo, kad je policija podnela, znači policija je 24 sata, pošto sam prijavio preko Twittera Interpolu, podnela, prosledila moju prijavu za monstrozno ubistvo, razumete? Načelnik mi je potvrdio. To tamo stoji. Možete da kažete da nije dokazano, znači, gledajte, to niko neće da kupi. Evo čovjek koji je to da kupi mi je rekao, neće uopšte se meša u to. Taj što je moj brat, što ga je zvao i što je rekao će kupi, on to neće.
Da niko verovatno neće ni kupiti jer je ovo pravo s usvojene, niko neće da kupi.
So I gave more details on Alexander Kuzmanovic's brutal violation of the law. In the first place, that he was ignoring me. He didn't want to call any of the witnesses. There were, let's see, that monster was also witness when my grandfather fell. She either hit him or push him. She's extremely strong, which can be seen here. So I explained that to her, and she is constantly pushing her story that I proved nothing. Yeah, by the way, I also mentioned here that the reason for Alexander Kuzmanic to close the case in 2016 was that my father found my grandfather when he fell, but actually my father lied because he was blackmailed that if something happens to that monster, he will end up in nursing home where literally, this is what she said, my father will starve there, will be starved there. So this is why he lied. My father at that time was taking medicines, very strong medicines for so-called Parkinson's disease, because he didn't have that. He was poisoned with mercury or something similar. I proved that. I proved that for both my grandparents and my father. So 3 of them were poisoned by that monster, again one by one. So according to the law, my father could give statement only and only. So for 6 years he was taking those pills. They're changing your brain. So without the decision of psychiatrist, he was not able to give any statement to anyone, and there was no such decision. So I let the judge commit those frauds on my inheritance proceedings, because then this monster and probably her family, they're behind this, because this monster is extremely stupid. He wouldn't be able to plan anything. So after that, after inheritance proceedings was done, she thought that everything is done, that's it, I cannot do anything, and she admitted everything. After that, she admitted, and this is the part of these 2 emails I sent in May last year. So I gave those pieces of shit from prosecution, higher instance prosecution of Smerovo, proofs that she admitted she found my grandfather when he fell. So after that the whole procedure, the whole investigation should started again, but nothing happened. So to this day I haven't received, so it was March, more than a year, I haven't received a single email from that new prosecutor, Ivan Konat. I will create a separate video on him, very interesting video. So now let's continue.
Tvoje suvlasničke udele, niti bilo šta. Ali kažem, prema ovome što se sada...
Možete da kažete da nije dokazano, znači, gledajte, to niko neće da kupi. Evo čovjek koji je teo da kupi mi rekao, neće uopšte se meša u to. Taj što je moj brat, što ga je zvao i što rekao će kupi, on to neće.
Da niko verovatno neće ni kupiti, jer je ovo pravo susvojene. Niko neće da kupuje suvlasničke udele, niti bilo šta. Ali kažem, prema ovome što se sada vidi, vaši maćeha...
Gledajte, gospođo Lukić, ja vam još...
She's lying here that nobody want to buy it, because I was talking to that guy who bought the property 2 times, that local criminal, in January. I will not say if I have recordings of those talks. So he visited me last year in January, and he said he won't buy anything. Of course, he was bluffing, without informing me first, which is exactly opposite what he did. And he also we met on the road. Actually, he was in his car, and he said that was I don't know, like February last year. He also said he won't buy anything if without my knowledge, and unless we solve problems that we have. I mean, he meant problems that I have with that monster who murdered my family. That was not a private lawsuit. That was a crime report that state prosecutor acts ex officio by the definition of his job. So he's lying here, she's lying here, sorry. That monster, that piece of shit, DUSANKA LUKIC, lawyer, she's lying that she said here that nobody wants to buy it. She first needed to inform me, according to the law, that she is the lawyer. She is, I think she's still the lawyer, but at that time she was the lawyer of that local criminal. By the way, that local criminal is also my cousin. So you can imagine what the whole thing is about. So she needed to inform me according to the law. She could not hide that she's also the lawyer of that local criminal who bought this.
Još jednom kažem, dovoljno vam je da odete, znači možete da vidite iz mojih mailova da su i jedan i drugi i u RGZ-u i u katastru Smederevu Crnogorci. Znači, oni uopšte nisu uzeli u obzir moju žalbu, razumete, ja sam pisao žalbe, uopšte nisu uzeli, uopšte mi nisu odgovorili da su dobili mail, a dobili su. Znači, dobili su mail, nemoguće da nisu dobili, kad tužilaštvo im potvrđuju da dobiju, oni nisu, kao, znate. I vi ako odete imate pravo na to, kažem, pošto imate punomoćje, samo idite u Smederevu ili tražite u Smederevu u katastru da vidite šta je u predmetu. Znači, u predmetu uopšte nema, a sudija je falsifikovao zapisnik. Znači, po vama je u redu što je sudija falsifikovao zapisnik.
So I mentioned here the frauds by Cadastre and by Geodetic Institute, Republic Geodetic Institute in Belgrade, and I also asked her I asked her again to go to Cadastre. She could do that because she was given the power of attorney both by my brother and that monster who murdered my family. I asked her again to go there to Cadastre and to see what is in the case. And of course she didn't do that. So I also asked her, is it normal that I have proofs that judge fake the minutes of inheritance proceedings? And let's see what she said.
To je pritužba, nije krivična prijava. On je falsifikovao, znači ona mi je, ta žena, psihijatrijski bolesnik, ona mi je potvrdila u telefonskom razgovoru. Taj telefonski razgovor je deo žalbe, razumete? Još taj telefonski razgovor nije poslat ni mom bratu ni njoj. Razumete? I nemam uopšte odluku sudije. U pisanici su rekli da on je odlučio da se to ne šalje. I šta je slao? Znači samo onu jednu rečenicu da je na G-Drive-u snimljeno to. Razumete? Znači
so this part is on my complaint on inheritance proceedings, which I sent to the to higher instance court. I'm just trying to find this. Yeah, so this is that complaint, and it can be seen that complaint contains as it was in form of email, contains I need to mute this. So this is the complaint. So this complaint contains a link to video, which is a recording of a Skype call where this monster, so the monster who murdered 3 members from my family, confirmed that judge faked Judge Dejan Adamović faked the minutes of inheritance proceedings. So these minutes were used to write the decision of inheritance proceedings. And what is also important, to this day, and you can see what's the date when I filed that complaint, to this day my brother and that monster didn't receive this recording on CD or DVD, which is something that it is mandatory according to the law, and also transcript of this. So without that, this is something that higher instance court needed to check out. Without that, there could not be any decision on my complaint. So this is another proof. Of course, again, another proof of brutal violations of multiple laws. And again, let's see what will this moron and monster say.
Ona je priznala da je sudija falsifikuje. Kako bi ja mogao da priznam da nije stavio potpis i pečat na zapisnik, da nisam nju zvao? Jel me razumete?
Ništa, što se toga tiče, vi te predmete onda...
So, I explained here why I needed to call that monster and to add that recording to my complaint. The reason is very simple, because judge gave both to me and to my brother and that monster minutes without the seal and signature. So I couldn't prove. There is no other way to prove that that these are actually the minutes, because he could say, or any other court or attorney, there's no, you could print this yourself. So, and of course this is in those videos I showed related to Judge Adamović, and let's hear what she said.
Kažem, proverite kakav je status, utvrdite šta se dešava.
Ja sam proverio, gospođo, ja vama kažem, proverio sam, imam snimke. Sad ću da stavim, ali dovoljno oni prethodni snimci. Znači, ja sam zvao AJT, apelaciono tužilaštvo, oni su to prosledili višem javnom tužilaštvu i niko mene ništa ne obaveštava. Vi ćete da vidite, oni mene ništa ne obaveštavaju. Pa zato je počela ponovo ova afera Epstein, zato što su prekršili onaj Crime Victims Right Act, nisu obaveštavali žrtve krivičnog dela, razumete?
So instead of checking this, which was her job to check everything that I said, she said that I should do this. I should check out what's happening with the cases. I mean, I cannot do anything because they were ignoring me, and they're still ignoring me. So both prosecution offices involved police, courts, and other state institutions, cadastre, genetic institute. So instead of doing what's her job, she pretends that I should do that.
Znači, mora da me obaveštava. Oni ništa ne obaveštavaju, uopšte ne znam. Vi meni verujete da taj predmet 628 i predmet 563, to je KTR, predmet 563 je 2017, to je 2015. Oni neće da mi pošalju. Znači, vidite, 23. jula sam, možda da se vidi na mom YouTube kanalu, ja sam 23. jula zvao više javno tužilaštvo u Smederevu i oni lepo mi čita žena u pisarnici šta sve ima tamo, da su to neke beleške i tako dalje, i uopšte neće da mi pošalju. Pošalju mi samo jedan mali papir kao neko obaveštenje. Znači, isto tog dana su mi poslali. To sve mogu da vam pošaljem.
So I also explained that, and that is something that is still happening. To this very day, I didn't receive a single case, only some notifications, and in one case, some notes that chief prosecutor sent me, and nothing else. One of the reasons is, of course, that if they sent me, they will prove that they knew everything about the Interpol involvement. So there are a lot of videos on Interpol on my channel, and they are this is why, one of the main reasons, this is why they are ordered not to send me any case. And of course, because when they ignore me, I have full right according to the law to address court of public opinion or to make everything public, which is what I'm doing for like 6 years now. And of course I gave the example of Jeffrey Epstein scandal, because the scandal broke out. Main reasons for breakout of that scandal is because Crime Victims Right Act was violated. Crime victims were not informed on that non-prosecution agreement.
Ta prijava policije.
Da pustite molbu za uvid, ništa, vi imate pravo da pustite molbu za uvid i fotokopiranje spisa predmeta ako ste vi to podnosilac krivične prijave.
Ja sam to pustio, neće da me govore. Znači, mene interesovalo, svima sam poslao, da mi potvrde da imaju pristup, oni namjerno neće ništa sa drive da kopiraju, kao ne znaju kako se koristi. Neće da kopiraju ni te video snimke, oni moraju da budu deo predmeta na DVD-u. To sam sve sad zvao Republičko javno tužilaštvo pre neki dan, sad ću staviti snimke. Znači oni ignorišu jednostavno, prave se, filtriraju mailove i stavljaju u predmet ono što njima odgovara. A to što kažem vam, što se tiče samo katastra, možete da vidite iz mailova, ako vas mrzi da tražite, ja ću tačno da nađem koje mailove, da uopšte mi nisu odgovorili, i katastru sam stao i RGZ uopšte nisu odgovorili na žalbu.
So these are more details on ignoring me, especially cadastre and prosecution offices, and of course, after I explained everything that they're ignoring me for years, she suggested that I file a complaint and to ask for these cases. So they will suddenly give me right away, and they refuse to do that for years. But anyways.
Znači, sudija, predsjednica višeg suda... Molim?
A niste žalbu mogli da šaljete mailom?
Mogao sam da šaljem mailom, kažem, mail je zakoniti oblik.
Now she is using another card, so she said that I could not file a complaint using email, but in law on criminal proceedings, Article 281, paragraph 3, it specifically says that you can file a crime report using email. So crime report, that also means you can file a DA complaint, which I did for that inheritance proceedings, as I just showed, and the DA Higher Instance Court reacted, even Supreme Court reacted when I sent my crime reports and lawsuits by email, but suddenly she claims that I cannot file a complaint by email. I mean,
komunikacije, ako mi odgovaraju sva tužilaštva i Vrhovni sud na mail, i to Milević, bivši predsjednik suda, on je sad, kako se zove, penzionisao se, zašto ne bi mogao da šaljem? Znači, mail je zakoniti oblik komunikacije i policija 2019. u julu, kad je prosledila moju prijavu, ona je verifikovala taj mail. Oni se pozivaju non stop na zakon o elektronskom potpisu, ali se ne pozivaju na onaj deo, ona 3 dela koje kažu da u kojim slučajima mora se traži elektronski potpis, razumem? Znači, postoje 3 slučaja. Shvatite. Znači, tu ima toliko krivičnih dela, dovoljno vam je ovo što je sudija falsifikovao zapisnik i niko neće da ga krivično goni.
So I explained in this part that mail can be used for filing any document, any report, anything according to the law, and that e-signature cannot be applied in this case, law on e-signature, because police forwarded my crime report and confirmed, after I reported top of the police Ministry of Interior to Interpol, and they confirmed that by email. So head, not any police officer, but head of police department. And also I received my autopsy of my grandfather also by email. So I mean, rubbish. But I don't know why she's trying to use all those tricks. And again, still, she still didn't say anything about checking all these facts by herself, which is her job.
Znači on izbacio deo, kako može da izbaci deo iz zapisnika da ne stavi u rešenje? I neće da, kako može sudija, pošto je to išlo, žalba višem sudu išla preko osnovnog suda, kako može da ne pošalje celu žalbu? A vi evo tamo vidite u ovom videu. Znači žalba, to i moj brat dobio, on je to sve treba da vam da, vi to treba da imate u predmetu, vi to morate da imate u predmetu, znači tu žalbu koju on dobio, on je vama morao po zakonu da pošalje sve u vezi s ovim, ja sam njemu sve te mailove slao.
So I mentioned my brother here that he also has all those emails. I forwarded everything to him, and he, according to the law, needed to give all those emails, everything related to inheritance proceedings and the cases to judge, to that lawyer, that piece of shit, Dusanka Lukic, and she needed to have everything in the case because she opened the case when selling the property when my brother and that monster gave her the power of attorney.
Znači on ima žalbu moju što sam podneo i tu lepo stoji žalba, jedna rečenica, sve što se odnosi na žalbu je u sledećem videu. I video na G Drive. I on tu taj video uopšte nije poslao, a podvučen. U pisanici kaže da je on odlučio da se ne šalje. A te odluke nema, neće da mi daju. I razumete? Znači, ja ne znam šta više. Znači, oni uopšte nisu mogli da postupaju.
So I explain another important fact here to this monster and moron, that judge, this is the information I got from document office of court. So Judge Dejan Adamović, in charge of inheritance proceedings, acting in inheritance proceedings of my late father. So he probably verbally, because there is no decision on that, there must be a written decision. She said that this recording, which was part of complaint, should not be sent. And as I said, I just need to repeat again because it is important. They needed to send this on CD or DVD to my brother and that monster, because when you don't do that, you prevent the other party to complain. And also my brother and that monster should ask for that, but that's another story. So I also mentioned that part, and let's see what she has.
U viši sud, pošto je to je prijava za teško krivično delo sudije. Ako vi kažete da sudija što je falsifikovao zapisnik da je to u redu, onda ja stvarno ne znam šta više da pričam.
Ja ne kažem da je bilo šta u redu, ali ja
Pa
zaista...
ja vam kažem, znači oni ignorišu, kažu lepo vam objašnjam gospod. Znači, problem je, ne bi bio problem da se ta psihijatrijski bolesnik, ja zovem psihojelica, nek me tuži slobodno, da se ona sama upoznala sa mojim ocem, nego je problem što je njena sestra isto težak psihijatrijski bolesnik, Olgica iz Ćuprije, došla kod mog brata i ona je upoznala nju. Olgica, njen sin je najbliži saradnik Ivkovića. Ivković, bivši slobodni ministar, on je nagovorio Miloševića da se preda.
So I gave her more details on family of that monster who murdered my family. And I mentioned this guy. So the problem is there would not be any problems if that monster who murdered my family contacted my brother. If the whole process was not through her sister. But of course, conditionally speaking, because her sister is also involved in planning everything, all that poisoning and everything else, and lawyers they hired. So husband of her sister is a good friend with this piece of shit, Bane Ivković, who was minister of Slobodan Milošević, and he convinced Slobodan Milošević to surrender to Hague, which directly leads to United States Embassy in Belgrade. At that time, during Milošević era, or more precisely to William Dale Montgomery, ambassador, and United States federal government is in charge of every embassy in the world. So this is the problem, and I tried to explain that to this moron. This is why YouTube is brutally blocking me in every possible way, so I can just decreasing. So they're blocking me so much that they totally they don't know what they're doing anymore. Check for instance this video, or where is one very important video? Or this one. I mean, these are some things that are. I mean, I can show right now how they're blocking me. So if I type Italian, they're showing me when I search for videos on my channel. So this is search for videos in YouTube, the whole YouTube, and this is just for my channel. I get this. Unbelievable. So I have video on that on that problem alone, which is here, and a lot of other brutal blockings, bannings, and so on and so on. And also Facebook is doing the same. So and of course you just need this one, where is it? FBI ignoring. Yeah, this one is more than enough. So for this video, this is a re-upload. When I initially uploaded, so 1 month ago, when I initially uploaded this video, the language is recognized as Portuguese. Portuguese. Okay, let's go. So as Portuguese, so not just Portuguese, but mix of Portuguese and English. So when I uploaded, I can actually check out if they haven't changed anything in the meantime. So when I re-uploaded that video again, there is a video on that uploading. So it's now, I think at least, that it is now, yeah, this is now English. So that video alone, that YouTube removed video linked within email to FBI, this video alone is more than enough to show that United States federal government is behind YouTube. Otherwise, no private company would have guts to do this, to remove something that's sent to federal police, I mean, or federal bureau, or state bureau, state institution, prosecution, and so on and so on. Okay, so let's continue.
Ide do Montgomery, razumete? I to je problem. A vi kao pravnik sigurno znate kao advokat, evo optužio sam vladu Sjedinjenih Američkih Država da stoji za trgovinu oružjem na njihovom zvaničnom Twitteru koji prati, pošto mi nisu odgovorili na mail, koji prati 2 miliona ljudi.
So I mentioned here something very important. No, actually not ours, but DOJ. I gave to this monster more details. These 4 videos, this, and this. Sorry, not this, but this. So the ones that are uploaded 2 years ago. So I mentioned here that United States Department of Justice doesn't have the guts to remove my videos where I accuse their federal government of being behind illegal arms trade in Serbia. So, and of course let's see what she is about to say.
Ako to nije dovoljan dokaz, ja sam dao 5 dokaza u onom videu da je strani faktor, pa vojska mi je pretila. Kako svema vojska se meša u ovaj međunarodni slučaj. Zato sam došao kući, jer nisam smao dođem s toj kući od kad je umro moj otac. Tek kad se umešala vojska, pošto po ustavu ne sme više se meša policija, onda sam došao. Jelica me prijavila u julu prošle godine za nasilje u porodici, ja sam poslednji put bio u Dobrom Dolu, dolazio sam na pola sata, poslednji put.
So I explained here that I could not visit my home where I was born and where I grew up until I involved army, Serbian quoted army, in the whole thing by reporting army for illegal arms trade in Serbia. That was my ticket, for my safety ticket, to be sure that nobody will set me up anything, to be sure that they won't kill me, and so on and so on. After that, I moved to country, and after I finished some other stuff in Novi Sad where I lived. So that was about the army and the illegal arms trade.
Sam bio u maju 2020, na pola sata kada ona nije bilo tu. Razumete? Znači ja sam sve dokazao, imam snimak, sad ću da stavim, gde ona ulazi, pokušava da uđe u moju sobu, sad ovde na selu. Znači sve sam dokazao, dok hoće da me truje, neke čini, baca vražbine, ne znam ni ja. Ja sam to sve snimio, sve ću da stavim sve. Žena je težak psihijatrijski bolesnik. Pa gledajte ovako, čovjek koji se non stop družio sa njom i žena koja su, to su moji rođaci i komšije najbliže, on kaže, to je snimak, snimljeno. On kaže da se plaši da mu ne zapali kuću, ulazi čovjeku na silu, on je težak psihijatrijski bolesnik. Kako možete sad da mi kažete da je normalno što ni jedan, znači ona je bila svedok pada mog dede, moj otac, još dvoje komšije i kako se zove, i moja rođaka. To su sve bili krvavi zidovi. Ona je na kraju priznala u razgovoru da je pao noću. Kako zna da je pao noću? Znači on je tu bio minimum 8 sati, teško bolestan čovjek. Razumete? Znači, to što novinari još nisu uzeli, to je zato što se nisu stekli uslovi. Ali to, ja sam kontaktirao, vidjet ćete tamo najpoznatije novinske agencije, jer one su pisali ovim kriminalcima na vlast.
So this was something about people, my cousins and neighbors who confirmed how sick this monster is. So this is the video, and there is another video with Biljana Popović. So this is what I mentioned, and let's see what else. Yeah, that she is into black magic and all sort of stuff. So I'm referring to that monster who murdered my family. So I mentioned here also that I also contacted a lot of newspapers, popular newspapers, BBC and so on and so on. Wow! Oh, they're blocking me on this one as well. Okay, cool. So let's see if there is something I missed. So I mentioned again that when that monster pushed or hit my grandfather, he was there for at least 8 hours. So the walls were painted with blood. So painted with blood. And of course she admitted, this is in those emails sent in May last year, she admitted that he fell in the evening, but she found him in the morning. So how does she know that when my grandfather fell, unless she pushed him or hit him? Of course, as I already said, chief prosecutors won't react. Okay, because I addressed them. Okay, so let's continue.
To dobili, ako nećete, u redu, znate, ja ne mogu ništa da vas natera, ali da kažete da sam ja vama naložio da nešto uradite, to nije tačno. Znači ja vama nisam naložio, to je opomena pred tužbu ili prijavu, kako će se tumačiti međunarodne institucije, ne znam. Ja sam sve vama tamo stavio taj video, ja vas zovem od 8, od 9, ne odgovarate mi, ako nećete u redu, ja vam samo kažem, znači čovjek koji je to da kupi, kaže, nećete da ga slučajno pomenu dok se to ne reši između nas. Ali to nema šta da se reši, on ne razume čovjek zakon, ja nemam problem u stvari sa njom od trenutka kad je policija podnela tu prijavu, imam problem sa tužilaštvom. Razumete, imate koliko god hoćete dokaz, ali dovoljno, vi pošto se pozivate na katastar, samo tražite katastar da vidite koji je predmet poslao sud, pošto po novom zakonu sud šalje sad. Ne nosi, to ćete vidjeti u ovim dokumentima, što sam dao direktorijom VSS, znači katastru šalje direktno sud, sve. Razumete, sud je poslao, isto kao što nije teo da pošalje tu, kako se zove, taj telefonski razgovor, kako može da se pošalje samo deo žalbe i da uopšte ja ne dobijem odluku. Ja sam išao i do ovog tužilaštva za organizovani kriminal. Oni za to slučaj, niko ništa me ne obaveštava, razumete, ništa. Znači ovo vam je dovoljno što je sudija poslao samo i na kraju krajeva, čak i kad je bila ova, kako se zove, ne žalba, nego, ne mogu sada da se setim, vanredno pravno sredstvo, ne mogu sad setiti kako se zove, revizija, znači ja sam dokazao Vrhovnom sudu da su oni trebali to da rade i oni mi uopšte nisu odgovorili. A mislite vi da Vrhovni sud ne odgovara?
A znam, a vi meni kažete sve, vi ste dokazali.
So I also mentioned that Supreme Court didn't want to react, gave her more details, and let's see what she has.
Čime ste dokazali, gde su vam te odluke? Ja zaista vas razumem, vidim da je teška porodična situacija, vidim da ste prošli kroz svašta nešto.
So she's again asking for some decision, I don't know what decisions, because I explained like 10 times that they are ignoring me, prosecutions and courts and police, they're ignoring me, they don't want to send me anything, and she's constantly asking me where are the decisions. So, and of course she just said here that she saw that it's a very difficult family situation. It's not difficult family situation because that monster is not part of my family. I also proved there are pieces of evidence which I sent a long time ago, but I explicitly sent them in May last year in these two emails, as prosecution and police and courts were pretending they don't know how to use G Drive and YouTube. So that lawyer is now DA, sort of a psychologist. She's trying to give me some advice, pieces of advice on my family problems.
Zaista, i tu imam mnogo razumevanja i...
Ja vam kažem gde su odluke, evo kažem, znači odluke su tamo, jer vi shvatate, znači oni grubo krše zakon i sad neće da reaguje tužilaštvo.
Vi niste dokazali bilo kakvo kršenje zakona. Vi sad meni ovde šaljete vaše krivične prijave.
And she said again, I didn't prove that anyone violated the law, which is insane. I mean, instead of stopping the conversation and to go to check out this, she still claims that I haven't proved anything. Of course, I cannot prove anything because they don't want to send me anything. I mean, I proved now, but at that time I didn't really have anything except those pieces of shit from the police and prosecution and courts just ignoring me, and she's referring here to the decision of prosecutor or court that somebody broke the law, which is something that didn't happen because they were ignoring me. I mean, unbelievable.
Sve to razumem, ali vi morate i mene da razumete.
Nisu to moje krivične prijave, gospođo, ja vam kažem, policija je podnela. Moje krivične prijave ne moraju ništa da znače. Oni, nebitno što njih nisu odbacili. Te prijave nisu odbačene kako treba. Ja dobijam samo obaveštenje. Uopšte neće da mi pošalju detaljno zapisnik i belešku, ništa. To neće da mi šalju.
to razumem, ali to su već vaše, kažem...
Ja vama kažem, nisu to naše, znači policija je podnela krivičnu prijavu dan pošto sam ih prijavio Interpol. I to je automatski međunarodni slučaj. Ja sam vam...
She again claims that states that these are my claims, so something that she constantly trying to push. So that story that these are just my claims and haven't proved anything. I mean,
u onom vidu 5 primjera zašto je međunarodni slučaj. Moje majke prete, neće daju penziju u Italiji. Razumete, to je sve vojska se umešala. Eno, da li bi ja smeo da stavljam broj majora vojne policije koji mi pretio po nalogu generalštaba, pa mene bi uhapsila vojna policija odmah, razumete? Znači, međunarodni slučaj. I ja vam kažem, nisu moje prijave, nego prijava policije. To što su oni smatrali...
So I gave more details on army involvement here, and there is a new video I uploaded today, very important. Maybe military is better. So this is important video. This is something that I mentioned here, and she's constantly telling me that these are my crime reports, while I'm constantly trying to explain that this is crime report that police forwarded when I reported everything to Interpol. Of course, after I reported to Interpol, after that minute when Interpol reacted, this is international case. And when police forwards your crime report, police is behind your claims. And she still stating that these are my crime reports.
Podneskom, ali kako može prijava za monstruozno ubistvo da se smatra podneskom? Oni su to podneli dan pošto sam im prijavio Interpol, preko Twittera. Preko Twittera ne smo ništa prijavio, a ja sam ih prijavio. Znači, tačno se vidi dan posle toga. A 6 meseci su bili. To nije teška porodična situacija. To je za nju teška porodična situacija. Zato što ona ne može ništa da prodaje, da daju zakup, čak i drva. Evo ono što sam vam napisao za drva, ta što je pokrala, komandir mi je obećao policiji. Zamislite kad su komandira zaplašili, da mi pošalje. Znači, neće da mi daju, potvrdio mi je oficir unutrašnje kontrole, da su prosledili prijavu za krađu drva, osnovni javnom tužilaštvu u Smederevu, ali neće namerno da mi daju broj prijave, pošto OJT kaže da nemaju tu prijavu. Jer ako krenu sa tom prijavom, ako rade po zakonu, oni će onda da ispitaju da je ona optužena za monstruozno ubistvo. To ne sme. Znači, komandir mi je u januaru ove godine obećao da će sve to da mi pošalje, razumete? Sami su me zakazali kod njega. I on mi čovjek rekao, svaka ti čast što se boriš za pravdu, ali to nebitno. I znači, tu se...
This is just a part about police covering up the case of stealing wood from my property. That monster also, she's a professional thief. She also stole wood from my property. They're hiding that because if that goes into the procedure in prosecution office, then everything will need to be investigated, everything will need to be mentioned, that I filed crime reports for monstrous murders, and this is why they don't want to involve her in any sort of a case that is open on my, that is open when I filed crime reports.
Ta prijava još uvek stoji. Imate snimak razgovora od 23. jula prošle godine sa višim javnim tužilaštvom. To stoji još tamo u fioci. On to neće da postupa. Ali ne može da odbije prijavu policije. To je nemoguće. Razumete? I drugo, to znači, i ovo vama ništa ne znači što je osuđen za džeparenje po vozovima. Vi vrlo dobro znate kao advokat da mora da se istraga ponovi. On ne može nijedna njegova odluka ne važi. Razumete? Kako može da bude dostojan neko ko je osuđen osuđen, novine pisale. I tabloid, ima i u tabloidu. Pisali su novine, osuđen za čamparenje po vozovima na relaciji Beograd-Skoplje. Pokušao je da bude, on je bio advokat, vaš kolega, on je pokušao da bude sudija u Smederevskoj Palanci, pa su ga odbili. A su ga nekako primili u DVT-u. DVT je prošao kroz DVT. Razumete? I ako sve to nije dovoljno, znači, da zanemarimo moje prijave, pustite mi moje prijave, znači ja pričam o prijavi policije, za monstruozno ubistvo. Znači, kad se
So I said here that let's not talk about my crime reports. Let's just focus on the fact that prosecutor was convicted, not suspected. So convicted for pickpocketing in trains that Aleksandar Kuzmanović and that police forwarded my report. And I asked her again if why that doesn't mean anything to her.
kaže da nije kriv, može da nasledi, a ne suprotno. Jer da je za nešto sitno u redu, a po nedostojnosti nasleđivanja, policija je to, izvinjam se, podnela. I to što je posle utekla. Uglavnom, poslednje mailove koje sam slao prema što sam se doselio iz Novog Sada, tražio sam da mi potvrde da imaju taj direktorijum Interpol dostupan. Niko mi posle toga nije odgovorio na mail. Niko. Oni ne smeju to da odgovore, njima ambasade su zabranili.
So this is important. I mentioned here that after I asked explicitly, that was 2020, last year before that, so 2021, after I asked explicitly state prosecution, in the first place prosecution offices, so all state institutions, to confirm that they have access to Interpol folder on G Drive. So there is a video on that. Maybe they will block me again. So they're blocking me on a lot of terms now. So this is this is video explaining that. So after I asked specifically to confirm that, nobody responded.